proud, be happy January. Now, once again, I'm not gonna do a blabbery intro. There are two things I wanna say really quick. I just said two twice. What is it with me and the hand motion? There's two things I wanna say really quickly before we jump into the video. First one is, like I said, I'm not gonna be doing a blabbery hand. What is wrong with me? A blabbery intro. I'm actually gonna save the blabberiness for the end of the video. I'm gonna talk about my thoughts, kind of like a next step from the last video, on perfectionism and routines and the importance of being flexible and being kind to yourself and just kind of what that means to me. So if you're interested in hearing me talk about that, be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video. And then the other thing is, the second thing guys, is that something very exciting has been happening a little bit early over on my Twitter and my Facebook. So, if you want to check out what it is, be sure to go over there and check it out. All right, so let's hop in to my night routine. So my night routine usually begins with me wrapping up all of my computer work for the day. So taking Zoe off the bed with me because she's usually working with me, and I'm gonna grab my yoga clothes because not every night, but a lot of nights of the week, I like to go to yoga. Hold on, you can't come with me when I get naked and change. Yeah, you can't get naked with me. Sorry. Ooh. My yoga outfit, guys. My yoga outfit. Oh, yeah. All right, so I'm taking out my earrings because I can't do yoga in my earrings. They stab my head. And I'm washing my face just lightly to get the makeup off of my skin so that when I'm sweating in yoga, I'm not having makeup and sweat all over my face. Patting it dry, and I'm applying some of my Kate Somerville moisturizer just all over my skin lightly. Like I said, this is just a light wash. I end up washing my face later, but there we go. So walk into the closet, and I like to bring a really comfy sweater with me to yoga so that I just feel really comfy in class and at the end during Shavasana. And then yeah, my closet is still embarrassingly enough a mess. I'm grabbing my teaks, putting those on. Ooh, I love this color of the teaks. And then I'm heading to the fridge to grab a cold water bottle. I'm bringing my Beaker water bottle, which a lot of you guys asked about during my morning routine. And then I'm having some snacks with Dan pre-yoga. So now I am heading off to yoga class, and woo, my car. To those of you that didn't see that video, I did get a new car, and I am over the top excited about it. So I just got in my new car, driving to yoga class. And I'm gonna get out. You might notice I didn't bring my yoga mat with me, but that's because I keep my yoga mat and my yoga towel in the back of my car. So grabbing my yoga mat and my towel, and I'm walking to class. Now, I live in Playa Vista, for those of you that didn't know, and this whole little area in Playa Vista is just so cute. I love it. It's like a little park area that's lit up so beautifully. So I'm walking to class, and here I am at Yoga Vista. Quiet, please. Class in session, okay? Thank you. Yoga class, doing some stretches. And then, yoga class is done. And I always come out dying. I'm usually not this peppy, but a camera's on me, so ooh. And I'm chugging whatever water I have left, going back to my apartment, and then, I don't know, this looked like the Blair Witch Project because Dan just decided to chase me down the hall. Following me. I don't like it. One bit. Go away, paparazzi! Alrighty, and I'm home. Oh yeah. Doggies, my doggies. Aww. Good boy. Are you happy to see me? Yes. Kissies for my Bowsin. I love you, Bows. Alright, so then I come in, and usually Dan's eye racing when I come home from yoga, so I interrupt his racing, and you know, I'm a good wife like that. It's time to move on to dinner and more snacks, you know, to satiate my hunger. Oh, Dan, you are such a good house husband. Yeah, fun fact, I actually don't ever do the dishes. Dan does all the dishes in our house. I told you guys I'm a really good wife. So Dan's cooking up some fish because we're gonna make some fish tacos. So he's grilling up the fish, and I'm gonna end up making some guacamole. But after he grilled up the fish, then we are making some tortillas. This is really painting me as like not a good wife because he's also making these, but we split a lot of our roles, okay guys? So we made a ton of tortillas because we were starving. So I made some guacamole with avocado, Greek yogurt, lime, onion, I use spring onions, jalapeno, cilantro, and then of course salt, pepper, and cumin. Just a little bit of cumin because it tastes like BO to me if I put too much in. So then I mash it around, and adding Greek yogurt to my guacamole is something I've started doing recently, and I love it. So pulled out some tortilla chips, and we are assembling our tacos. We used some Trader Joe's salsa and some cilantro on top, and then I squeezed some lime, and that's Dan's tacos. Those are Dan tacos with the queso dip, and we decided to settle in to an episode of Catfish. We're those people. We eat on the couch. Oh yeah. And then I had some chocolate for dessert. And it's shower time. Oh yeah. All right, so I'm turning on the shower, hopping in the shower, and I'm gonna wash my hair. Alright, so I'm using my Kerastase shampoo, and this was recommended to me by my hairstylist friend Summer.
What are you doing in here? I feel so violated. Okay.
And I guess it's really good for blonde hair and damaged hair, so I use this kind of intermittently with some other shampoo, and I use my Costco body wash to shave my legs, rinsed out my shampoo and my conditioner, I just didn't show that, and then I wring out my hair, grab my towels, put my hair up in my towel, and then I spray down my shower with my daily shower cleaning spray from Target by Method. Now that I washed my face, again, I'm going to be using my Kate Somerville moisturizer. This is a different one. I'll link those products all down below. And then my Tarte Maracuja oil all over my chest and my shoulders. And then I pat the excess off like on my hands and my face. And then I'm using my Origins ginseng eye cream, and I'm patting that lightly around my eye. And then I'm going to move on to my hair. So I'm using my Kerastase Cement Thermique cream and then my Chi Silk Infusion. I mix it together, and then I just run it through my hair and apply it, the best I can evenly everywhere. And then I take my Unite 7-second detangler, like a leave-in conditioner. Fleur de Force actually recommended this to me, and it is amazing and the best stuff to get rid of tangles. And then I use my Tangle Teaser to brush out my tangly hair. Oh yeah. Then I'm using my Jason's Lavender Deodorant.
Purchased at TJ Maxx.
Then I'm taking my Peaches and Cream Hemp's Body Lotion and applying it all over my body. Bowser's at this point fast asleep on the bed, and I'm pulling out some new fresh clothes to change into my pajamas. I'm dressed. Magic. Then I brush my teeth using my Tom's toothpaste. Brush, 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 brush. And my Tom's Wicked Fresh mouthwash. And I gargle it like a freaking pro, guys. And then I use Latisse for my eyelashes. If you're curious as to what that is, you can Google it. I'm obsessed with that stuff. And then I deconstruct my bed. How many of you guys deconstruct it, like in a specific way? And then I apparently wanted to fall on my bed like a ballerina. Oh yeah, doing some dance moves. Only for you guys. Come in, join me in my bed. Oh yes. So Dan did join me. With a lot of enthusiasm saying goodnight to you all. It was like 1 in the morning by this point. We fall asleep to YouTube videos, and yeah, that is my night routine.
Alright, so that's the end of my night routine. Now, filming my night routine, as well as honestly like the comments in my last video and kind of that conversation, made me think about what I'm about to talk about. Now, these thoughts might be kind of random and seem kind of disconnected, but just like hang with me till the end, and hopefully when they're all the thoughts are strung together, it makes some sense. All right, so as you saw in my night routine video, I went to yoga class, but I don't go to yoga class every single night or even like on the same specific nights of the week. Now, that's for a couple different reasons. And yes, one of them is for the reason I mentioned in my last video, the fact that I am no longer an athlete anymore, but that's just one of the reasons. The other reason is because I've also relaxed and I've learned to go kind of with the flow, and not just in yoga, but like in a lot of things. And before I like move forward and kind of like spill what I'm thinking about, I have to precede that by saying that like all of these things that I'm talking about, just like in all of my videos, I feel like I give this disclaimer a lot. These are just my thoughts and my ideals. Half the time I feel like a hypocrite because I'm still figuring things out and I will be my whole life, and like what I'm working towards. But it kind of had me thinking about this time. I went to It's a Grind in Castaic, where I used to live. I used to live in Santa Clarita, and I went to It's a Grind, and my friend Becca was working, and I was just talking to her, and I told her about how bummed I felt because I said, Becca, I used to work out every single morning, and like besides my workout, I feel like all of my life, like my routines were just so much more like regimented and disciplined and specific, and I felt really crappy about myself for not being that anymore. And Becca's response to me was so simple, but it struck me so hard, and I actually think it was because it was so simple, it made me feel like, wow, that's a really good point. Like, I can't believe I didn't think about that. And she basically said, well, yeah, but like you're an adult now with like adult responsibilities and adult curveballs being thrown at you. So how about rather than being so harsh on yourself, you just kind of, you know what your priorities are, you know what the things that you want to achieve are, and you can just schedule your life accordingly. So rather than beating yourself up over things that you can't necessarily control, why don't you just be nicer to yourself and figure it out as you go? And she said that it was kind of an immature way to think and a kind of an immature way to act, that it had to be so like this or like this. And I thought about it and I was like, wow, that is a really good point. That was right. I think that I had been and like have struggled with being so afraid that if I didn't structure something to a T, or if I fell off, if I didn't beat myself up, then I wouldn't stay on the bandwagon, that I would fall off the bandwagon, that I couldn't go with the flow, that I couldn't handle the curveballs that life was throwing at me. I didn't trust myself that I would be okay and that I would figure it out. And it really made me draw a lot of parallels to like other areas in my life. And I started thinking about all the ways that I was so extreme, things that had to be this way or this way, and that was kind of it. And I don't think that I necessarily thought about it consciously, but I think that it's something that my subconscious like must have been thinking about, because I always get so afraid at the concept, like anything conceptually that has to do with real balance. I'm afraid that I can't balance, that I'm going to fall over, and just that I can't be a balanced individual, which is interesting because I think that's what we should be striving for. Okay, for example, one brutally honest thing in my life, I guess, example, that's the word I'm looking for. One brutally honest example of my life is my life as a wife and my future as a mother. When I was younger, I was really convinced that there was no way that I could have the career of my dreams, or necessarily even a career, and be a wife. I thought that that would end it because the time commitment and just, I don't know, I had all these fears and preconceived notions of what that looked like. So I thought, well, I want to go to Broadway, I want to move to New York, I want to be on Broadway, but you can't be married and do that, and I can't have the career that I want and do that, so I'm just not going to be getting married till my 30s. I just knew that I wanted to get married at some point, and I kind of thought that when I got married, that I would kind of give it up a little bit. Well, the funny thing is, Dan came into my life, I fell in love, I got married, and I have since pursued the careers of my dreams. Obviously, I'm not doing Broadway, but I'm clearly doing other things that I love, and that doesn't have to do with dance. Total side note. But the Broadway thing, which is something actually that I still might want to do in my future, I don't know, more theater or Broadway. I don't even know if I could anymore. Not that I could have before. I don't know. I'm blabbering. But that was I've had a lot of dance injuries, if you know that. I'm getting way off track. Things have turned out to be so much more balanced than what I envisioned, than what I was afraid of. And yes, it's not this way by accident. I've definitely prioritized my life, but I didn't even think that this would be possible. I was so afraid. And now looking forward into motherhood, which no, I am not pregnant and I don't know when I'm going to be. It could be a year, it could be 5 years, I'm not sure. But I find myself struggling with a lot of the same thoughts. Like, I think, how am I going to be a mom and do the things that I love? How am I going to be able to keep going? Am I going to be able to do the things I love? What am I going to do? It doesn't feel possible, but what I can say, I don't think I've ever said this like on my main channel, but hey, I'm letting all my personal stuff hang out, so whatever. I actually see a therapist weekly not only for my own personal sanity and just to have someone to kind of bounce thoughts off of. I also tend to lean more on the side of being a crazy artist, and I just like having a third, like a neutral third party in my life. She tells me that being a mom will be the same as what I've experienced with marriage to a certain degree. There will definitely be sacrifice, just like how there is an element of sacrifice in my marriage, but I still get to do the things that I love. She says that balance is attainable. It's hard and it takes work, but it is attainable. And part of that balance is not beating yourself up. Choose your priorities and then act accordingly. Act like a grown-up who knows what they want, knows that things change daily, and can act accordingly. I think it's just a part of growing up, but I think balance is possible. So yeah, I honestly don't have much else to say on the topic of like balance and routines, but I wanted to say this kind of as like an afterthought or like a continuation on my last video, because I don't want you guys to feel the need to swing to these extremes, and then if you mess up or fall off, to beat yourself up. I believe that that's just life. So, I want to know if this resonates with you. Am I crazy? Have you struggled with the same things? Or do you kind of like struggle with the same things but on the opposite side of the spectrum? Maybe rather than feeling the need to be a perfectionist, maybe you struggle with even starting in the first place, like being maybe what some might consider lazy, even though you know in your gut you're not, you just are too afraid to start. I want to know like where you sit on the topic and what your struggles have been like, because as usual I will be reading and replying to comments. It's just, I know I say it every video and maybe it's driving some of you crazy now, but it's been really cool. It's been really cool reading your comments, and like I just feel like you're all becoming more and more real to me, and even though I'm staring down the barrel of a camera lens right now, you're all just becoming real people to me through these conversations. Okay, last thing, feel free to keep posting under the hashtag HowToBeHappyJanuary on Twitter. It's just been fun reading all your little happy bites. Contribute to people's appetites by putting your own little happy bites out there. And yeah, I will see you all Sunday with a very exciting announcement. And I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, or whenever you're watching this, I just hope you have a fabulous time. And if it's not fabulous, I hope it gets more fabulous. So I will see you all soon. Bye.